After a sleepless night one in California's backcountry, we woke up and gathered ourselves. Our goal for the day was to hike 4 miles to the Kern River looking for the Kern River rainbow trout. Coming from the East Coast, I find it particularly unique to have the ability to catch a truly native rainbow trout. Although rainbow trout have been stocked just about everywhere at this point, catching a rainbow trout in its native range is a rare opportunity for us. Good morning, guys. Welcome to day 2 in California. So we're just now picking up camp. We just got the tent and everything picked up. We're gonna grab all the crap, get it all together. We boiled some extra water this morning, so we have some water for the beginning of our trip. Although, we're hoping to hike 3 or 4 miles right off rip when it's still cool, so we're not sweating like maniacs and stuff. So yeah, we're excited. The bear didn't come back and visit us last night. So if you watched the last video, a bear came into camp like right as we were setting up the tent. So that was pretty exciting. But he didn't come back and we survived the night, so that's good. All right, guys, getting back on the trail and getting going. Andrew's back there. He's coming. Wildflowers are in full bloom here in California, I'll tell you that. Of course, now I'm wet again. Oh. Bear, 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 bear. Big bear. Well, you guys can see that bear or not? Look at him. It might be the same one. He's gonna come around this tree. Shortly after we ran the first bear of the day off, we ran into bear number 2 of the day. It's gonna take a right up here. He's going to the right now. See him? See him? Yeah, you can. He's right there. Second bear. Then, within another mile, we ran into bear number 3. I have no idea what's up with California, but I've never seen so many black bears in such quick succession. But, for whatever reason, that valley was loaded with bears. Let's just say we may have gotten a little bit lucky when we camped in that valley for night number 1. So, needless to say, we weren't too upset when we finally dropped down towards the mighty Kern River. Alright guys, look at this view that we got going on here. It's looking upriver there. That's where we're gonna end up going. We're gonna end up being down in the river, which just seems so far away right now, but somewhere up in there, on the right side of the river, there's golden trout. So, that's our goal. Don't want to fall in that. My gosh. All right, guys. So we just did a treacherous little hike through some rock rubble and stuff because we had this brilliant idea that the trail actually goes up on top of this mountain behind us and like kind of curves up the mountain and it goes to this little like low gap and then comes back down the mountain. And we were like, essentially we'd rather die than hike up over top of a mountain right now. So we decided to stay on the river, which just ended up being a bunch of rock rubble, which it was treacherous in a couple spots, but I think it was definitely shorter. I don't know if we'll go through there on the way back or not. We're gonna like flip a coin on that. But we finally made it to the section of the river that I wanted to fish, which kind of involves a set of lakes that I can see right now. It's one lake, but it kind of looks like there's 2. There's one lake here, and then just around the bend in the river there's another lake. And I don't exactly know historically why these lakes are here, because they're just like offshoots of the main river, but they're lakes, and I assume there's going to be Kern River rainbow trout in these lakes. And if not, between this lake and the next lake there's a beautiful stretch of river that's kind of flatter. And if you guys couldn't tell from earlier when we were walking on the river, it is moving. So we're not even going to be able to fish the river like in the canyon sections anyway. So I'm hoping this flat section of the river, you know, with these lakes, will hopefully hold some fish that we can easily catch. We're gonna continue drinking a little bit of water, maybe have a snack, and then we're gonna actually fish for a couple hours, kind of towards where we're gonna set up camp later today. But before we get too far into this video, I just wanted to let you know that this series is sponsored by Red's Flies. Red's is a family-owned small business with the goal to sell flies to help raise money for conservation. They have a variety of fly patterns such as the Tungsten Hotspot PT, the parachute atoms, and the tungsten mini leech, which are just a few of my favorites. Red's also recently rolled out a wholesale business selling flies in packs of 6 dozen meant for fly shops or guides. Ads like this help make trips like this one to California possible, because trust me, it's not cheap. So go show Red's Flies some support and get a few flies using code HFA for 15% off your next order. Now let's get back to the video. Alright guys, there's a big Kern River rainbow sitting right in front of this stick log here. I'm gonna see if he wants a dry fly. Oh. Got him. No, it's stuck on itself. I think he's stuck on something. Yeah, he's stuck on something. Yeah. I know, but he's on a log out here. I know. I do too. I don't know. No! There's like a thing sitting like this and he went underneath it. And I couldn't pull him up through it. That was a big fish. It's so hard to hook. I mean, there's so many logs there he could get into. Dang, dude. That sucks so bad. Disappointed would be an understatement. And to add salt to the wounds, my GoPro decided that today was the day to die after 2 years of working flawlessly. And I don't mean the battery died, I mean it flat out wouldn't record. And, you guessed it, as soon as the GoPro decided it wouldn't record anymore, I decided to catch an incredible Kern River rainbow trout. We were lucky enough that Andrew was able to record the tail end of the fight, but there's no audio. So, down to one GoPro, we slowly worked our way towards camp, picking off a few trout anywhere we could in the raging current of the Kern River. There we go. Oh, no, there's a big one chasing it. That one just tried to eat the dry too. There's a much bigger one over there that tried to eat it. First native Kern River rainbow trout. Little baby one though. Got one. Well guys, I'm having major problems. I caught a big rainbow earlier, but a pretty big Kern River rainbow. He got off, or no, I caught him, I'm sorry, but I wasn't recording. And unfortunately, it's kind of been what's been going on this trip, because now I think my GoPro's just straight up dead, which is, it's just unfortunate. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. So now I don't have my GoPro, so I have Andrew's on right now. So hopefully there's at least a handful of fishing through here for you guys. I'm not going to lie, The Kern River being so high made it difficult to fish. And because of the difficulty and the lack of fish catches, we ended up moving way faster than intended, and actually made it towards camp far earlier than expected. But just as we were about to reach camp, we crossed over a small tributary that I decided to cast into. This ended up being the best decision I ever made and essentially saved the day from complete failure.
Buddy, just want to show you off for a second. Look at that fish. What an awesome rainbow trout out of this little plunge pool here. Doesn't get much better than that. Whoa, chill out. One last look at these little fellas from right here. Thanks, buddy. That was cool.
After catching that Kern River rainbow trout, we decided to continue fishing the tributary to see if it would produce a few more fish for us.
See it again. It's just you pull up, he's heavy, and it's just like. Yeah, the biggest fish you've ever seen. Oh! Alright guys, we've got a beautiful native Kern River rainbow trout right there. Look how pretty that little thing is. Oh! Oh well. We'll see if Andrew can catch one or two of these fish before we end out the day here. Because every one of these little pockets is just loaded with these little fish. And the main Kern River is just roaring. I mean, this is too, but at least this is doable. So, let's keep going. Guys, so John just caught that one. This is only like my third native rainbow trout here, but this is probably definitely the prettiest one I've caught. Just pick him up real quick. He wants me to. Look at that. I mean, hold it out from the net a little bit, and then you can just go for the release. Okay. I just want to get a good shot out away from the net if I can. You ready? Yep. Perfect. I see him. There he is. I don't know, this fly's too small. Oh, yeah. Got him. That was not the hardest fish ever to catch. That's a pretty one too. I've been messing around with this fish for way too long, guys. Beautiful little native Kern River rainbow. Chill out. Little side pockets, man. This is the native trout fishing I'm used to. It's not the species I'm used to catching. Oh, that wasn't the best release ever, but. That one's a little bit better. I mean, this is way better than the river. It's caught like three, four fish in this hole. It's not bad. Pretty fish too. Look at that, guys. Little mini streamer. Tiny little screen.
Now, something you may not know about the Kern River rainbow trout is that they're actually listed as a species of special concern by the California Fish and Wildlife. The reason being is that the Kern River itself is stocked with non-native rainbow trout, which I find hilarious. And because of this, the native rainbow trout have been hybridized over time. In other words, the fish we were catching in the Kern, although surely wild, were probably at least somewhat hybridized. So not only did fishing that tributary save our day from a fishing standpoint, but it also allowed us to catch some fish that were probably better representatives of what a Kern River rainbow actually is. After catching a handful of trout, we headed towards camp and were treated with a little surprise. Well guys, sitting here eating, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a rattlesnake that just decided to come through camp. So yesterday we were about to set up camp and a black bear came into camp, and today a stinking rattlesnake. I'd honestly rather see a bear. I mean, it's cool, I just wish it was not in camp. Ridiculous. Alright guys, so we finished off the day there in that tiny little tributary of the mighty Kern. Behind me is the Kern River. We're setting up camp. Andrew's got the camp, or the tent just set up. I started a little fire here. For once, California actually has too much water. So, of course, you still have to get like a campfire permit and stuff to have a campfire. But essentially, you can actually have a little campfire this time of year. Hope you guys enjoyed today. Andrew and I caught the second native of our backpacking trip, and that is the Kern River rainbow trout. So we've got a Kern River rainbow. We've caught the little Kern River golden trout, which wasn't all that golden. We've seen 3 or 4 bears. We've seen 2 rattlesnakes, one that just went through camp for some reason. And yeah, that's pretty much what we've done so far. And tomorrow is gonna be the creme de la creme. Tomorrow we're going after the legendary California golden trout, and really the fish that we're all here for. And we have to hike up there tomorrow, up that valley, because that's actually where the golden trout are, the native to. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna hang out here at camp for a little bit, go to sleep, and then wake up tomorrow bright and early and go catch some native golden trout. I think in the moment, a lot of times you downplay the situation you're in. In this case, being over 20 miles deep in the wilderness with a multitude of black bears and rattlesnakes slithering through camp. Realistically, one wrong step would have not only ended the trip, but ended our lives. It's something that we choose to ignore when we go on these adventures, but is always a very real threat. It just seems a lot more real when the very thing you're trying to avoid seems to show itself time and time again. Having said that, it's easy to look past the danger if you know the legendary California golden trout, the reason for the 2,500-mile cross-country trip, is living on the mountain just above camp.